Penguin Random House Audio presents Tantrum by Rachel Eve Moulton. Read for you by Rachel L. Jacobs. Part 1. Temper. I forgot to gather the chicken eggs first thing this morning. It's what I'm supposed to do after I do all my other firsts. Change diapers, start coffee, put on underwear. Clean preferred, but not necessary. Pour cereal, cut fruit, smell on armpits, and wipe down all 3 children. If I do all this efficiently, I earn 5 minutes outside in the morning air by myself in the chicken coop. Today, Sebastian's blowout means I'm not so lucky. You've never managed shit until you've had children shoot it up their own back, crack to head. I try motioning to my husband, Dylan, asking him to watch Lucia while I go outside. He is at one end of the kitchen table. She is at the other in her high chair. It isn't a big favor, but he shakes his head no and gestures to the little squares of people on his laptop screen. Among the more surprising things about parenthood is how much of a throwback it is to when you were a preteen and had to ask your parents' permission to do just about anything. Or even harsher, but perhaps more apt, it's what I imagine it must be like to serve some light jail time. Permission must be obtained to exit your cell, shower, take a piss, call a friend. It turns out, too, that being the breadwinner allows a bit of leniency. Guess I shouldn't have stopped earning money. I extricate Lucia from her high chair, throw a bath towel over my shoulder, and grab a basket for the eggs that I hope to collect, all with Lucia held tightly on my hip. "Sit right here," I say to Lucia as I lay the towel on the ground next to the gate. This way, Lucia can watch me pick up eggs, but can't enter the coop where she might grab a handful of chicken poop, and I can pretend I'm getting a moment to myself. Lucia sits primly on the ground with her head held high, her shoulders back, and her spine straight in a posture no 3-month-old should have, while I wiggle open the high gate my husband built for us from chicken wire and spare wood. The coyotes made a bloody mess of things before we made the fence taller. Dylan had to dig it a foot deep to keep them from going under. Coyotes are scruffy out here, hungry from heat. Like rattlesnakes and scorpions, they are not to be messed with. We lost a lot of chickens that first year. And I will admit, each loss broke my heart a little. I'd raised them from chicks and given them my favorite dastardly names. Female villains are an obsession of mine. This morning, I'm immediately greeted by the fabulous Alex Forrest, a chicken that boasts Glenn Close's high, curly locks from Fatal Attraction. She's a spirited chicken, certain of what she wants. We had a rooster for a while, named after Michael Douglas's character. I was secretly pleased when coyotes picked Dan Gallagher off. "Morning, Alex," I say, genuinely glad for her plucky, persistent self. Mystique and Regina George strut over to join us. I sprinkle food, and the rest of the chickens plunder out of their coop so that I can lift the roof and reach in. The eggs are warm and almost soft to the touch. One speckled brown egg fills my palm, and there is something so beautiful about it. You aren't supposed to gather eggs or even go into the chicken coop when you're pregnant, but I did it anyway with Lucia. After carrying and giving birth to 2 boys, I was done being careful and had stood 12 weeks pregnant and holding a chicken egg in my hand thinking, my baby is this big today. It was a sweet moment, a sweet thought, until Lucia was born. Gathering the eggs always reminds me that things can be simple. I'm feeling that good, whole feeling of being in the world that is rare for me when I hear a mad squawking. I let the roof of the chicken coop slam shut and spin on my heels. "Lucia!" I shriek. I drop my egg basket. She's got Alex's head pulled through the tight weave of the mesh. "Stop that! You're hurting her!" Lucia does not stop. Lucia giggles and twists. I head straight for the gate, opening and shutting it behind me. But I'm too late. Lucia has Alex Forrest's head in her hand. She sits at the edge of the fence, coated in blood, laughing that full-bellied baby laugh that we loved so much when the boys were infants. Lucia's laugh, as with all things Lucia, is tinged with a glee that feels targeted. Is she laughing with us or at us? She shouldn't have the dexterity to wrap both hands around a chicken neck, let alone to pull apart the mesh and create a large enough hole to coax the stupid creature through in the first place. She smiles at me from atop her towel, a chicken head still clutched in her pudgy little hands. "Lucia," I say sternly, "why would you do that?" Lucia holds the head up proudly for me to see. I watch as she attempts to shove the whole of her free hand into the bloody mess of the poor chicken's severed neck. It's a horrifying spectacle, and almost as if she thinks the severed head is a doll she can manipulate, a ventriloquist's dummy whose beak will soon be spitting out inane jokes if she has her way. I swallow hard, holding back the instinctive urge to vomit. I look away from my daughter to see that the rest of Alex Forrest is still on the other side of the fence. A bloody, blonde body thrashing on the ground, blood spraying from the neck. Frozen, my heart races. I look at the chicken wire, at the tiny hexagonal pattern of the fence and the hole she has made to pull the chicken head through. "How is that even possible?" I ask her. The other chickens have stopped eating. They watch their sister's feet try to gain a headless purchase and fail. The dirt of the coop reddens. "Fuck me," I say. What do I do first? A normal mother would grab her child, get the decapitated head away from her, and take her inside to bathe off the blood. But a normal mother of a normal child wouldn't stand and watch her daughter play with said head in the first place. I leave her to her puppeteering and re-enter the coop. I pick up the body quickly, bravely, I think, and throw it over the other edge of the fence. A talon scratches me from the inside of my elbow to the wrist. Blood pools. I ignore it. My blood is nothing compared to the gush of this one hot chicken. I let myself back out and swoop up my bloody baby. I snatch the head away from her and hurl it across the top of the coop. I intend it to land near its body on the other side, but of course it doesn't. It plops at the scaly yellow feet of the rest of the chickens, and I turn to the house before I can see their reactions. Running in tight circles with their wings flapping, beaks pointed upward to their chicken god as they scream in a useless, squawking panic. "Everything okay?" Dylan asks, alarmed. But I can see he has only muted his meeting, not turned off the camera, so he rushes and fumbles to hide the murder scene that is this family. "Fine," I say, clearly not fine. "Mama," Jeremy says. "Blood? Blood!" Sebastian yells in joyful mimicry of his brother. "It's not ours," I shout. "We lost Alex Forrest." "Coyote?" Dylan asks as I shut and lock the bathroom door. "Sure," I say through the door. "Honey, what's going on?" I can tell that he's stressed, that he's got his mouth pressed to the other side of the door so the boys don't hear his worry. "Don't worry, we're fine. Promise." I raise the pitch of my voice to try to convince him just how fine we are. "Do you need help?" he asks. Dylan wants to help me. Why won't I let him help me? It's a bad
Sample complete. Ready to continue?